Hello, everyone. I'm Josh Oakes with SmartSocial.com. You know that we talk to students about how to be smart and social on the web, how to be your authentic self and have a good time, but also how to better yourself and how to shine on the internet. Well, today I have an awesome guest that I met through some family friends, and I just said, I have to have this person on our podcast. Whether you're listening on audio on our podcast, you're watching us on YouTube, or you're watching us live on Facebook, you've got to go grab your teenager, whether they're in middle school or high school, and I want you to meet this outstanding young person. Today, I have Johnathan Harrell, aka Nighthawk, as his friends call him. He's with Westmont College in Santa Barbara area. It's Montecito, and he's a senior, and he's studying communication and media studies. And you know that we love to interview people that are going to inspire your kids in the future. We talk about jobs. We talk about college and really subjects. And today I had to grab this young professional and say, come and talk to us, inspire students. Johnathan, welcome to the video. I'm so honored to have you here today.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me out here.
All right. So we met through some mutual friends at like a holiday party, and it was awesome. And one of the things I was so fascinated by you is your mom's challenge when you were really young. Your mom forced you to do something that was so fascinating. Can you tell us the story of why and what she asked you to do that really changed who you are today for the better?
Yeah. So I'm born and raised in the city of Chicago. So go Bears, go Cubs. I'm the youngest of 8 from my mom and dad. And so all my older siblings would always talk and everything like that when we'd have family meetings and stuff. And I would just sit there and I wouldn't say anything. And so that transferred into whenever I go and hang out with friends, or if I go to school, I wouldn't really talk to anyone. I just kind of did my own thing and let everyone else talk. And I wasn't really getting out there and meeting new people. So what my mom challenged for me to do is every time I left the house, I had to meet 5 new people, learn their name, what school they went to, and something interesting about them so that I could start to engage with others and make friends and get out of my comfort zone of just not talking and just being by myself.
Now, how old were you?
I was around 8 years old when she started doing that, and she really enforced it.
8 years old, and you would have to go out and meet 5 people and learn their name and remember it.
Yes.
And what happened if you didn't learn their name and you came home without that?
Each person that I didn't remember, I got grounded for a day. So I had a possibility of every day I go out, I had a possibility of being grounded for 5 days.
5 days. Now you're the youngest of 8. And your siblings are what ages? But they span how many years?
22 is me, the youngest, and then my oldest brother is 43.
Wow, that's fast. And all over the country, all different industries.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your mom's challenge, forcing you to go and meet people, remember their names. We're going to talk about that here in a sec. Talk to us about what is NITE communication, the 4 steps to engaging people. This is one of my favorite things you told me at this holiday party. What is it and how can we use it?
Yeah, so NITE communication I learned at a basketball camp called Point Guard College, and it's just 4 steps to how you talk to anyone. And the N stands for names, so just saying the name before you give out any information, which then leads to I, which is information. And then the T is the tone of like, it's not what you say, but how you say it. And then giving good eye contact to show that you're present and you actually want to engage in conversation.
Let's use this as an example. Let's say we're playing basketball. What would you say to me that uses NITE communication?
I would say your name first. So I'd say Josh.
Yep.
Get the rebound, but I wouldn't be screaming it. I would say, hey, Josh, get the rebound next time. And it's just a reminder of me engaging with him, letting him know that I know who you are, I know your name, and I want to help you with this information that I'm laying out for you.
I love that. Names, info, tone, and eye contact, which is so important. All right. So that's NITE communication, 4 steps for engagement. I love that. Okay. So we've got another thing. I mean, you guys can see how fascinated I was by what you're doing, Johnathan. Let's talk about SHAPE, the 6 intangibles that you can use anywhere, sports, business. What does SHAPE stand for?
Yes, so SHAPE, first off, has changed my life. I just love everything about it. And the first one is the S. It stands for spirit. And so it's always bringing that energy and that positive vibe when you come out to any engagement, sports, business, school, just always having that positive attitude. And then the next would be communication, which is always just engaging in that positive NITE communication with other people and always using their names first and just showing that you're excited to be there with your voice. And then hustle is just bringing out that heart, bringing out that determination to get things done and to move such a good, well-paced manner, and not too fast where you're messing up, but being right at the good pace of hustling.
Love
and then having a good approach, which is just that good attitude. It just changes the environment of everyone around you, changes how you view the situation or whatever activity you're doing. And then we would have precision. And so precision is unique because there's accuracy and then there's being precise. So being accurate is getting 75% of the time you're doing your job, where precise is 99.9% of the time you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And then E is enhancement. Always trying to make the environment around you better and always trying to improve yourself every day and always looking for ways to improve yourself.
That's awesome. I love that. So that's SHAPE, SCHAPE, the 6 intangibles. You can use them in sports. You can use them in business. You can really use them anywhere, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk really quickly about enhancement. Tell us a story about where you were expected to do more than your share, or you maybe weren't keeping up, and what you did about that.
Yeah, so I had the great opportunity of doing car sales throughout my college career, and it's been life-changing.
And that's hard. Those of you that are thinking, oh man, that's a hustle. That's a hustle. Talk to us about your hours and what you had to do.
Yeah, so I worked 47 hours every single week, which I know for most parents, they don't think it's that much. But when you're in high school or when you're in college, 47 hours is a lot of dedication.
In addition to classes and homework.
Yeah, additional to classes and homework. And so I'd work 47 hours. And in those 47 hours, I only got paid commission. So I only got paid for selling cars. If I didn't sell any cars, I never got paid. And I would only go to those 47 hours, and I had no results my first 2 weeks. And then I started noticing the people around me, and they had the same schedule, the same hours as me, but they were staying an hour late or an hour early, and they're just putting in so much extra time. And they realized that when you're in a position, you always are expected to do more than your share. You're always expected to do more than just the 10 problems. If you really want to get good at something and be impressive, instead of just doing 15 math multiplication problems, you do 30 just to get that practice in and get that knowledge so it becomes easy and easier for you. And so once I started doing that, I was showing up an hour and a half early. I was staying there for an extra 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I started seeing results. I was making more sales than 29 out of the 37 people that were working in the car sales, and I was only at the age of 19. So I could have made a full-time job out of it if I really wanted to, strictly just because I did more than my share. I just put in more hours and put in more time because I realized my worth and what I wanted to become.
Yeah. Now hold on. Now, did you leave right at 8 p.m. when you wanted to go home, or what happened when some of the customers wanted to stay late and they weren't buying a car for that hour? They wanted to stay late. What'd your boss tell you? Yeah,
my boss would tell me, you don't leave until the customer leaves. And so in that moment, I could use my shaping qualities. I could have a bad attitude and stay there and just not enjoy it and make the time for me and my customer not enjoyable. Or I could have a positive attitude, realize that I'm helping the people out in front of me, and I'd stay for an extra 2 hours. So I could have a meeting scheduled with a friend of saying, hey, let's go out and hang out and go to play a slow pitch softball at 8 o'clock. But then I realize I have a customer and I realize my priorities and what I need to do in order to improve myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So I've got one more question. One of your favorite things to tell high schoolers, middle schoolers, your favorite quote. What is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote comes from a basketball player named Steve Nash. He's one of my favorite basketball players, played for the Phoenix Suns. And he has this quote where he says, I'm uncomfortable being comfortable. And so for what that meant for him is when he would practice, he wouldn't do that comfortable, slow shot. He would speed up his shot until it was at a point of uncomfortability, if that's even a word. But he'd make it to the point where he was uncomfortable because he knew when he got into a situation where he needed to use it, where he needed to shoot, he was comfortable in that uncomfortable position. So
within reason, what would you tell high schoolers to do while they're in this safe space of high school, middle school, they're with their parents? What should they do using this quote?
Yeah, so with that quote, my challenge to all you high schoolers and middle schoolers is to get out there and try things that you're not used to. I know if you're just a sports player, you probably don't want to get into the arts of poetry or ceramics, but to try those things out. You never know. It makes you more of a well-rounded person, and it just gives you a lot of experiences that you might not receive because you took that step of getting out of your comfortability and learning something new that wasn't in your environment that you're normally used to.
I love it. I love it. Well, I got to tell you, this has been really exciting. And probably one of my favorite things, Johnathan, is meeting you at this family event and realizing, wow, there's a lot of hard work, a lot of positive attitudes in the real world that you can actually end up leading online. So talk to us just real quick. We didn't practice this, but how do you behave online on social media in a way that's congruent with your in-person hustle?
What's congruent for me and how I use that online is I never post anything that is profane or something I wouldn't want my own mother to see or read or hear that's coming out of my mouth. So I'm always in that state of recognizing that I am a brand and I want to sell my brand the best way possible. And so just realizing that you yourself are like, people invest in you. You're a business. You are a person of value. And so treat yourself as that value. And so on social media, I'm always there encouraging other people. I'm always giving shout outs to people. If I meet someone, I always like to take a picture, put it on Instagram, share their story, and just show how much work ethic they've put in. And then hopefully they would do the same for me. And that just helps you connect with so many people around the world, because then their friends are talking about you and what you've posted and what you've shared and like the way you've changed other people's lives or the way people have changed your lives. And that just connects you with everyone around you. So you get good reviews.
Dude, you are awesome. I love it, man. Johnathan, you are my light, bright, and polite hero of the day, my friend. You get the award. I'm honored to have met you, and all the stuff that you're doing in college is really awesome. So thank you for being you and doing what you do.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It was amazing meeting you on Halloween.
Yeah. We met at a family Halloween party. Tons of people out there. Johnathan shined in person. Parents, those of you that are watching this and students, we want you to have a good time online. We want you to be yourself, be your authentic self. But whenever you're posting something, make sure it has a little bit of positivity and a little bit of gratitude in it. That means those are two things that'll keep you from getting in big trouble. If you want to make fun of somebody, make fun of yourself. Self-deprecating humor is perfectly fine. Colleges want people that are humorous, that are making mistakes and laughing at them, but they don't want somebody that's going to make fun of other people quite often. Yeah. So consider that, and also remember to, before you post, to keep it light, bright, and polite. Copy of the books that we have that teach professionals, teenagers, and parents, and everybody in between how to shine online and put their best foot forward so they can get every opportunity that they've tried to earn. We want people saying yes to you. We want every college to say yes to your student so that you are then in the power of saying no to who you want. I'm Josh Oakes. Johnathan, once again, thanks for being here today. All of you that are listening in, we thank you for your time. We'll see you soon on SmartSocial.com. Have a great day, everybody.